Hey there, do you know Webtoon? You ever heard of it? It's the #1 comic platform on this planet. It's used by myself and many other creators, and right now the platform is in a state that I find to be a little bit bothersome. You see, it lacks a lot of creator-focused features, and it leaves us, as in creators, with an environment that not only makes it difficult to stay motivated, but actively keeps us from getting the most out of our comics that we upload. In this video, I've compiled a list of a few of the problems that I think are most pressing, and hopefully I can convey to you the gravity of the situation. I'm Nen, and today we're talking about the problems of creating on Webtoon Canvas.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Not sure how things work in other parts of the world, but in Europe and America, long links with lots of numbers look shady as hell. So when Webtoon gives us a link like this, it makes advertising that much harder. A solution companies like YouTube have taken is allowing creators to have vanity links. These allow your comic to be easily searchable on Google and gives your comic an air of legitimacy. As a programmer, I know maintaining that many vanity links might be a pain, so an alternative idea that could be done for everyone, no exceptions, would be to allow the creation of shortened links that look very similar to the way Tapas's links are already constructed. 1 Tapas. This shouldn't even be hard to implement since all the comics already have unique IDs. The benefits are obvious when your links are shorter and easier to remember. Next up, if you've ever uploaded on Webtoon, chances are you've seen comments like these: insulting, rude, sometimes transphobic, all around awful stuff. And do you see this button here? That report button? Yeah, it doesn't do shit. Look, I know we can't avoid people saying horrible things on the internet, but Webtoons have regularly said that they wish to support the different minority communities on their platform, with lots of talk about change and ensuring peace, love, and positivity. Yet they haven't given creators tools to maintain such an environment. Online creator-controlled content moderation has been a thing forever, from YouTube allowing you to remove comments from individual accounts, to Discord's moderation, and even Twitter, the hell site, allowing you to block specific people from commenting on your thread. So it's a little weird that Webtoon hasn't implemented at least a simple delete comment button, leaving creators to live with a disparaging comment for the rest of their comics history. Make it possible to ban a reader's account and leave them unable to put comments under my work. Your overworked trust and safety employees cannot delete every reported comment themselves. So at least give us the ability to keep our spaces safe. Also, stop letting so many spam bots onto the platform. Fix your shit. Okay, let's calm down and discuss something slightly less aggravating. From creators I've spoken to while making this video, it's clear that the rating system isn't liked. Now, on one hand, rating systems are somewhat necessary in allowing users to determine the kind of content they're willing to take a chance on, and they generally improve the reader experience. But on the other hand, the one on Webtoon is so bad that it renders everything I previously said obsolete and almost meaningless. Instead of frustrating myself as to why it's so jank, I'm just gonna list how it could be better in 3 easy steps. Easy enough, at least, when you're a multi-million-dollar company. Don't let people review a comic without reading it. I don't know why anyone has to explain this to you. Just score-based rating systems are inherently flawed because they will always be perceived differently from person to person. As such, there will be no consistency to how a rating is given or perceived. This problem is easily solved by 2 things, both from the company Valve. The first is showing ratings as a phrase that describes the overall reaction to the comic. Overwhelmingly positive, somewhat negative. These take out the confusion on what the rating actually means. And secondly, taking in user ratings as a binary. Think like, dislike on YouTube, or the recommend, don't recommend on Steam. This shifts the focus of rating away from trying to arbitrarily score a comic and instead on the reader's likelihood to come back and read more or share with other people. A metric I believe is more valuable to both creators and Webtoon. Don't worry, I'm going to take it pretty easy on you with the math. The rating system on Webtoon uses what's called a linear average. This means that if A gives a Webtoon 10 and B gives a Webtoon 5, the rating will be a 7.5. This isn't inherently bad, but in the language of math, when you use a linear average, you're presuming that every single thing that goes into the average is of equivalent value. And in a system where you're not even checking whether people are actually reading the chapters before they rate, that's a bad way to handle the rating system. I think an ideal solution requires the final rating to give leverage to the votes of people who read more of a comic, as it would ensure a fair result and encourage people to give a comic a proper chance before rating it. Originally, I wrote this section like 2 months ago. A core idea was that Webtoon should fix the page view situation, as in show global stats, along with the US stats. They seem to have promised to get it done, and they're actually implementing it better than I ever expected them to, although the way it'll be handled remains to be seen. But good job. I'm glad that you're actually listening to people to some extent. While it's good that Webtoon has addressed this specific issue, there are others that were as pressing, if not more so, in regards to the stats page. Let's go over them. 1. Webtoon pretty much shows history for the specific month you're working in. There is no way to look back on your comic's previous statistical history, so you can't even tell if your comic is doing substantially better this month compared to last, unless you regularly, manually collect your own data. This leads to a follow-up problem relating to Webtoon's payouts. Sometimes they miss out a month or two when paying creators their ad revenue, and without this historical page view data at your disposal, there is no way to cross-check the amount that they pay you. And while most of the time it seems to work out, as they grow, the opportunity for something shitty to happen becomes ever more likely. And frankly, having that data available eliminates a potential problem before it even happens. The stats page also shows history as one big value, as in monthly page views, for example. So if your comic did better on a specific day, or the specific upload schedule, or whatever, you'll never know. This, coupled with their lack of demographic data, such as age of readers or gender or location, stops you from making what could be pretty critical decisions around your comic's outreach, marketing, and ability to make external revenue. It's dumb, Naver please fix. This video has been a trip to make. There are a few things I didn't cover and lots of frustration I had to leave on the cutting room floor. Because if Webtoon sees this video, I want them to take it constructively and not feel upset and then do nothing. The problems listed here, and those I've seen posted around in a few tweets, are ridiculous. These are not problems a multi-million-dollar company should be having. These are the problems of a startup with no actual infrastructure. Unfortunately for both of us, Webtoon, you are all we've got. There are other services out there that do offer things you don't, like a competent stats page and actual moderation so we don't get harassed, but those platforms have nowhere near the readership numbers you do. So none of us really have a choice, especially if we want someone to actually read our work. When you lack these features, you put a weird stranglehold on the value that we can actually gain from you. None of these features are revolutionary, especially the stats one. That document you made for advertisers, it's ridiculous that you know you can collect that much data. And creators don't even fucking know if half of our readers even speak English or not. I know you can do well. You've got some great people working at your company. But the current ecosystem you're running expects the best from content creators, while you yourself are expected to do nothing. And that sucks. That's all I have to say. Like, subscribe, Patreon. Thanks for watching.